Hello, second grade. It's Mrs. Keller here. Today, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the reading strategies that we have been learning in the past couple weeks. You have been learning a lot about how to figure out the meaning of unknown words. In the past, we did some videos to teach you to look around the word to help you figure out what the word means. We also taught you many context clues so that you can use those context clues to figure out what the word means as well. This week, we have focused on prefixes and suffixes to help you figure out what words mean too. So we will focus today and to review that same strategy of using prefixes and suffixes. So when you examine the word, use word parts to give you clues, okay? So look at the root word and what that word means, and then look at your prefix and use what the prefix means and the suffix, what that means, to help you figure out what that word is. Today, I'm going to teach you a little bit about how to use those strategies, and we're gonna go over those prefixes and go over those suffixes, and then we're going to use a story from Epic that is called Going Green at School. I'm only going to read to you a few pages of that book, but if you're interested in learning more and want to read that book, you can go right to Epic and find it yourself. So right now, let's look at what prefixes are. So here are some of our prefixes. And a prefix is a word part that's added in front of a root word to change the meaning of the word. So if you look at some of these prefixes, you can see re means again, un means not, pre means before, dis is not or the opposite of, im means not or the opposite of, non is not, and d means to remove or undo. So we're going to be looking at some of these prefixes, and here are some suffixes that you have learned in the past week. A suffix is at the end of the word. So you have your base word or your root word, and then we add a suffix at the end to change what that meaning is. So if you look at this, if we have an S or an ES at the end of the word, it just means that there's more than one. If we have an ED at the end, it means that that word is in the past. It's a verb that's in the past tense. If we have ing, it means you're doing something. So we use that on a verb as well. If you see ly, it means how. Er or or is an action, one who does an action or compares something. If we have able, able, or ible, it means you're able to be. And if we have al or ial at the end, it means related to or like. So these are some of the suffixes and prefixes that we've been working on. And I know that you've heard these before because you've been watching those videos all week. All right, so without any more time, I'm going to share my screen with you. And we're going to look at this called Going Green. Okay. So, Going Green at School. It says here, create compost. Compost is a mixture of waste, such as dead leaves, vegetable peels, and fruit cores, which is broken down and changed into rich soil. I look at that word compost, and if I didn't know what that meant, right here, it's a bold print word, I know that I can use one of the old strategies that we used before. I don't see a prefix or a suffix here, but I do know that we could look around the word, and we learned previously that a mixture, we look at it and you can see that it tells us what the word means. Compost is a mixture of waste, such as dead leaves, vegetable peels, or fruit cores, which are broken down and changed into rich soil. So they told us what that means. The soil is full of nutrients that help plants grow. Again, I'm going to use that old strategy of looking around the word. And that tells us, look right after the word, and it says It's what helps plants grow. I also like to use context clues to help me look to find meanings of words. And I'm looking down here at pictures to help us. I'm thinking that right here might be compost. And we can see all those beautiful plants and how they might be getting nutrients to help them grow. It says here, compost can be spread around flowers, tomatoes, and vegetable plants to help them grow and stay healthy. If you look at the top of the page, it says breaking down. I do see a suffix here, ing. If we look at what ing means, in the past, ing means it's doing something. So breaking down, what is it doing? It's breaking. That's the act of doing it, okay? So compost bins can be used at school to recycle. Ooh, I see the word recycle. I notice re is a prefix. Re means again. So if I look at recycle, it means to process for another time. Again, another time. So the cycle, they're going to do it again. So they're going to recycle the food waste from student lunches and the cafeteria. The waste will break down inside the bin with the help of worms, flies, and other decomposers. Ooh, there's a really big word that I might not know what it means. Let's look at that word. I see D, which is a prefix. D means to remove or undo. Compose. And then we have ers. Would be a suffix, meaning the one who does something. So, it's undoing, someone who's undoing something. So the removing, the decomposer is the person who would remove or undo parts, because compose is a part of something. So the people who are undoing, or the thing that is undoing the parts, which the parts are probably the compost you see there in that picture, right? That would help us with context clues. They would be the worms and the flies and the other things that would do the decomposing, right? In about 6 to 9 months, the waste will start to look and smell like dark brown soil. If I look down here, I see take action. Do you know what items can go into a compost bin? Use books and the internet to find out. That might be fun to do. When you have some time, if you want to read this story, you could go back through and you could do some of these things. Let's look on the next page. Okay, so now let's look at the 3 R's. It says, remember the 3 R's. Let me get rid of that on the top of the screen. 1 second, everybody. I'm going to erase all that because we might find some new words. Okay. So the 3 R's are reduce, and I see a prefix there, and reuse and recycle. Look at those prefixes. So I know that re means to use again or to do again, right? So if I think about that, to reuse is to use something again. To reduce, we're going to use less of it. And to recycle, we talked about that. That means the cycle is, we use another cycle. We do it again, that cycle again. They are important to remember as you go green at school. Reducing, I see a prefix and a suffix in this one. And if we remember, the suffix ing means doing something. So what you're doing You're reducing, you're doing it, okay? That means throwing away less garbage. That also helped us. That's our look around the word to give us that meaning as well. Can the items you use at school be reused or recycled? And I see, again, there's a prefix and ed is a suffix. It means it happened in the past. So you could do it in the past. It's what you already did. And this picture here is going to help us give some clues as well. It says millions of children around the world cannot afford school supplies, clothes, or other items. Instead of throwing away your old things, give them to someone else who can use them. So here they are. Reuse, do it again. We reuse, recycle, or reduce and recycle. Reuse last year's backpack and school supplies instead of buying new ones. I see an ing suffix, and that means doing something. So what are they doing? They are buying. This will reduce, there's that suffix, reduce, prefix, the amount of garbage you throw away. Recycle. Re means again. Last year's schoolwork, or reuse it as scrap paper. So you're redoing and reusing things that they used from last year in your school year. If you have grown out of your school clothes, donate them instead of throwing them away. Take action. Start a student-run recycling club at your school. Make sure everyone at your school recycles plastic, paper, metal, and glass. You could decorate your old backpack with buttons and patches to make it feel like new. I notice here there's an S, that's a suffix, an ES, which means there's more than one. So I hope that you enjoyed this little bit of the story and our little review that we have done today. So I would love to see you go back in and read this story on Epic. Have a great day, and don't forget to use all those strategies to help you find out the meaning of unknown words.